Great. Good job, everybody. Good job, everybody, for manifesting, co creating this experience with me and the audio working because you imagine it. See how powerful you are? See how powerful you are? That this life is happening because you have imagined it that way. See how powerful you are that the audio is working because you decided it will be so. Everything in life is a co creation. Everything in life is a co creation of consciousness. The only reason things exist is because of hi, is because of the agreement of a portion of the collective with that belief system. Like the reason we're co-creating this frame is because all of you have agreed that you want to be here. And I said yes to it. So every single company, every single restaurant, every single hotel, every single idea, concept is just a consensus agreement of a big portion of the collective that says fuck yes. Thank you. When many particles of consciousness agree to a reality taking place, that's how it gets birthed. If you don't say yes, it cannot happen. Like if right now everybody in the world got in a circle and agreed that poverty is not real and it doesn't exist, instantly there will be no poverty in the world. If every single soul in the planet agreed that they just want world peace, right now, instant world peace, because the world is just how it is, because we have imagined it that way. The only reason the world is as it is because of our agreement with it. We have imagined it that way. Thank you, my love. Your videos are present to the moment, and I feel I don't need my desires. Desires are permission slips. Are permission slips. Okay, one question at a time. Desires are permission slips to get to know yourself and free yourself from suffering. You can have ego desires that stem from the solar plexus, or you can have heart desires that stem from your soul. There's nothing wrong with ego desires. Sometimes you have to exhaust your ego desires and suffer to realize that you don't want them, and then activate your heart and follow your soul's frequency, your blueprint, your actual desire for the incarnation. Did you have a safe choice that you refused when you ended up sleeping on the street? Oof, a million choices. I was living with my boyfriend at the time in a penthouse with chefs and maids, and he gave me a credit card, and he's a millionaire, and he was like, you have half of all my money, let's just be together forever. And I'm just like, no, I gave it all up. And then I met, that was always my team. Then I met two other guys, men, also with lots of wealth, and they also offered me half of everything and marriage and proposals, and I said no, because I wanted to know that I could create that by myself. And it's already happening. How cool. Um, I never really lived in the street. That's kind of like um, a saying for I refuse all offerings that were not in alignment with my heart's desires. And instantly I got new opportunities. Like friends appeared out of thin air and were like, hey, I'm going to offer you a bed. I'm going to offer you a room. I'm going to offer you, thank you. I'm going to offer you this. I'm going to offer you that. And I agreed to the ones that fell in integrity because some of them offered me that in exchange for sex. Of course, that was going to be my team because of my beauty. Everybody wanted to buy me or wanted to exchange money for sex. And I'm like, no, not a prostitute. I mean, I am. We all are. but not a sex prostitute. You know that Peaky Blinders? It says like we're all hoes. We always sell a part of ourselves in your work, in your job. This is a part of myself that I'm choosing to sell to you right now. But it's my preference. Here I'm giving you my frequency. You always sell a part of yourself. What are you selling your soul for? If you're in a job, you're selling a part of yourself to the person that contracted you for that job to give you life force energy in the form of money. Uh, so we're all hoes. What part of your soul do you want to sell? And for what price? That's why being in your calling is the best opportunity you have to share your frequency. Because let's say you're an artist and you do paintings, beautiful paintings, then you're a queen because you're choosing your calling. You're choosing to sell the part of your soul that it's in alignment with what you came here to do. Thank you. I do need your frequency. It seems as I have a hang up on sensuality. So these people are crazy. Not you, Sophia. You're perfect. This is the other guy. I'm like, what are you talking about? Crazy, but I guess I'm choosing to be the queen of the underworld. So all of these people that are bound to these lower realities hook up with all these crazy frequencies of addiction, and you're in the underworld. That's why the price of admission is high for those. Okay, back to Sophia. Hang up on sensuality. There's nothing wrong with sensuality, but there's a lot of power in sensuality. That's why I call myself Cleopatra. I use my sensuality for the highest good. As a woman, you have a responsibility to use your sensuality, to use your beauty, to use your power to bring good to the world. Not for control, not for manipulation, not for survival, not to stay alive, not to feel security. But what are you going to use your sensuality for? What are you going to use your sensuality for? Your sensuality is your power. Same for men. Sensuality is the sacral center, the root, and then the sacral center. And then in the sacral center, that's your creativity. And when you use your creativity, your central center, you can move it up to your throat, like I do, and use your central energy to co create the world that you want to see. You can use your central energy to clean up your chakras, your energy centers. Or if you use your central energy with fear, then you would be bound to a reality of a hell or purgatory, which is control, manipulation, seduction. I mean, the whole world functions like that: money, sex, control, power, false power, false power. In the middle of circumstances that bring afflictive states, how can we trust that everything is working in my benefit? I know this in theory, but can't get myself to embody it. Well, you have to go play in the field. I did theory for 2 years. You can watch my videos when I was living with my wealthy boyfriend at the moment. That's when I was in the astrals, like playing with the ETs. I was learning. I did all the theory. And then when I felt ready, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna test this on the field. That's when I left and started living as a nomad to test like the field was supporting me. So sometimes you just gotta go on the field. You cannot be a theorist forever. You're not gonna like suddenly. I mean, it can happen. I think it happened to Byron Katie and Eckhart Tolle. They just got instantly enlightened and in their house, like in the bathroom or something. I think Byron Katie was like suffering intensely in the bathroom, and, like in the floor, and then like her mind just popped blank. That was it. And I don't know how was it for Eckhart Tolle. I think also he was like suffering so intensely, and then one moment the mind was blank and he was done. I mean, I'm intending that for you. I mean, I don't want anybody to go through what I had to go through. I went through hell and back many times. It was awful. I would love, I would love for you to have the Byron Katie Eckhart Tolle experience. But if you're in an underworld like I was, if your karma was so intense as mine was, my karma was so heavy, then you have to go on the field and you have to clean it up by yourself. Go clean it up, go test it. Now you have all the theory. I mean, and I'm showing up here every day at 9 a.m. from Monday to Friday, EST. So, worst case scenario, you're freaking out on the street and you have the video the next day in the morning. And then you get recharged and keep going. So you're fine. I'm not leaving you. You got this. I'm working on my wholeness. You cannot work on your wholeness. You're already whole and complete. You're allowing the fragmented areas or aspects of yourself to remember that you're whole and complete so they can integrate back into your heart and your mind's eye. So, yeah, you're already whole and complete. Okay, the titles. I use these titles to like poke at people's egos and to make things funny because I think it could be like, satsang and like, let's talk about God and self realization and empowerment. But I'm like, that's boring to me. I want to spice things up. I want to be like, are you a fucking peasant? Like, wake the fuck up. Like, stop being lame. Don't be a little bitch. That's what worked for me. It's how I spoke to myself to give myself courage. How much you decide what do you and how much you can do. You can do anything. You're infinite, limitless. The same potential that everybody has had. The potential of the Buddha is there for you. The potential of Jesus Christ is there for you. The potential of Krishna, the potential of Neville Goddard. Anybody that has achieved anything great or allowed themselves into self realization and self actualization, that is you. You can do that too. Just gotta do it. How? Just choose and trust. And then trust will transform into conviction. First, you have to trust. You need to have faith. But good thing we have teachers and people that have done it. So we have roadmaps. And then the more you test it in the field and you see how things appear out of thin air and how magic's real and how everything can be easy and how you go through the challenges with grace. Every time you conquer a new challenge, you gain more conviction and confidence because you can draw upon that memory for the rest of your life. How do you clean up then? And what do you mean by going to the field? How do you clean it up? Everything is a field. You are a field. I'm a field. I'm an energy field. My aura is composed of frequencies and vibrations. Frequencies and vibrations, coding. Your energy field is formed by all the Akashic records and all your beliefs and conditioning from all your previous lifetimes to this one. Somebody in a really high vibrational field that has clean energy, clean chakras, has more potency. Their words have more power. They're more activated. They have more energy because they don't have lower frequencies and conditionings and limiting beliefs saying that they can do something, or they are a failure, or they are unworthy, or da, 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 da. So you clean that up by what we're doing here, nourishing yourself with the mental bodies of people that don't have your limiting beliefs, so you can get it by osmosis. And then you also need to test it because it has to be embodied. Like, doesn't matter. I mean, if you trust the words of the person you admire, of the teacher that resonates with you can get the realization right away. And you may not have to go into the field and test it. But for some stubborn people and stubborn egos like me, I'm like, shit, my body couldn't embody it until I tested it, until I was like, okay, I need to prove that this is actually real. But if you decide right now that whatever Edgar Tolle, Byron Katie, Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, Neville, anybody that you admire that has done something that you want to do, if you choose to take their words as true in every cell of your being, you have the potential for realization right now without any effort. It can be effortless. Good question. Illuminating light providing by frequency. How did you become still to receive? I feel I can do so many things. Illuminating light provide the frequency. It's all illumination of light. It's all illumination of frequency. There's nobody here. It's just light, particles of light. There's no personality. There's no person. Like, you are not a person. You're a field composed by the beliefs, imprints of all your past lives, choices, and decisions. Thank you for the question. God's using you as the channeler of the questions. You're asking these questions for all the collective. Thank you for your service, Blanca. So, back to why I want to make titles edgy. Because I want you guys to be shaken up. I want this to be fun. I don't want this enlightenment thing, empowerment thing to be like in the Asian times, like in the Himalayas, and just like meditate and being all serious. Let's create a fucking X-Men mansion. Let's have a fucking party. Let's make this epically fun. Self-realization doesn't have to be boring and like I mean, after you realize your and after a while you get bored of. I mean, it's peaceful, but at some point you're gonna be like, okay, now I'm at peace. What do I want to do now? I want this to be excited for you. I want you to be a baller. I want you to be, yeah, I want you to be like James Bond. I want you to be fearless, limitless, mysterious, adventurous, sexy, powerful, epic. In your authority. I want you to take no shit from no one. Take no shit from no one. Own your power. Own your worthiness. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. As long as you're in integrity. Yeah, people do spiritual practices when they're God. It's silly. It is and it's not. It served me. For a long time, it did serve me. We have to feel gratitude and humility for the teachings that brings us to the next level of consciousness and the people and the circumstances, because everybody's serving everybody. Like, this is a whole cosmic orgy. We're all serving everybody. And again, why do I use these words? To activate you, to turn you on so you get the code and it activates you. I can just say, like, oh, everybody's serving each other because we're balancing the field, and I give you something and you give me something back, and it's an energy exchange. And then because we do all of that, because we love each other and we want to achieve all of our goals and desires, then everything balances itself out. And that's why people create companies and businesses, and why you do what you do. And that's why you have the amount of money you have. And that's why your parents go to work every morning. And that's why you chose this career. Boring, boring, boring. I'm like, or I can tell you, this is a fucking cosmic orgy, and everybody is exchanging frequency, and stop being a prostitute for a low price to shake you up and become a fucking queen or king. Don't prostitute your frequency. Choose your value, choose your worth. How much do you want to give to life? What do you want to give to life? What do you want to receive from life? because we're all exchanging energy all the time. It's a consistent energy exchange. Don't be nobody's little bitch. How do you view the word of thought as is taken out of the now? I'm always in the now. Thoughts just happen. Energy flows through me. Energy flows through you back to its all a cosmic orgy. Everything is thought and presence. Even when you feel you're not present, even when you think you're not there, you're there. Creating a contraction and a conditioning that creates a seemingly belief in lack and scarcity and unworthiness, but at the same time, who's the one that's creating the contraction? You're always there. You're always in the kingdom, creating a seeming experience that you're not. Have you had a romantic relationship with someone not awake and not even interested in consciousness when you were? I wonder if I can work, be fulfilling in my case. It wasn't for the most part. It wasn't for the most part. Why are you choosing that experience? I mean, I had the code of sacrifice and martyrdom. I took a vow in like 5 lifetimes ago or something. Like I was gonna self-sacrifice for people. Like how stupid could I be? But I know that's what I chose 5 lifetimes ago, and I had to clean that shit up. And I have to be like, no, I'm not gonna sacrifice for anyone. I'm gonna put myself first. So that's why you don't take any vows, and that's why I suggest to reach out for a session. Because there are some things that doesn't matter how hard you try to break in this lifetime. If you have vows from previous lives, that's that keeps that haunts you, and you need the proper tools and the proper. You need somebody in a state of consciousness higher than you are to help you clean that shit. So yeah, when I was playing out my vow of sacrifice, I chose sometimes romantic relationship. The opposite of what I had before. Before it was like all these wealthy men, like, okay, cool, they give me money, I give them love, win-win because I was poor, so it worked. So then it was like, I don't want that. I'm gonna be empowered. I became overly masculine. And then I chose partners that were not empowered. So I was their teacher. I was helping them heal. But that's also an imbalance because then I was like sacrificing myself to try to bring them up. And then that drained me. And then I really wanted them to get it. I was like, how can you not get it? But that was still victim, rescuer, savior complex out of seeking validation and feeling like, oh, I'm the one that knows how to do it, so I'm helping you, and now I feel better, and I feel like now here I have more power than when I was with someone that had seemingly more power than I do. So it's still like a power dynamic. It's still not it's still not it. It's not it. So if it's you still there, you're still getting something out of it. The use, the payoff I was getting there was like I felt validated. I felt admired. I felt like I was more in queen energy there, but that's still not queen energy. That's still validation coming from unworthiness. Because when you're fooling your queen or king energy, you don't want to save anybody. You just are. I mean, I'm just expressing because it's happening, and what else am I gonna do? But I feel whole and complete. What else am I gonna do? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I love those swords. So, what are you getting out of every dynamic you have in your life, every relationship? What are you getting out of it? Like, there's always a payoff. You cannot shift to the next level unless you identify what is the payoff that you have and what you're getting out of that energy exchange. What is the payoff? And when you are willing to let go of the payoff of what you're getting in that dynamic, then the new door and the new opportunity arises for you to choose a higher vibration that is more in alignment with truth and less with ego and self-sacrificing tendencies are ego. You don't need to self-sacrifice. You can just choose to be in your power and share by example. Nobody needs to get it. Discernment, no, and only agree to fuck yes opportunities. Fuck yes or no. Because when you're fuck yes, you're turned on. Like, I believe everybody here is here because I'm activating them. If you're not turned on in my presence, like activated, hard gasm, then you shouldn't be here. Be where you're the most activated, because then that's your highest opportunity for the highest vibration in that moment. So it's no or fuck yes. So in every frame of my reality, I'm always turned on and activated. You only choose something that's not turning you on, activating you, expanding you, nourishing you, because you're scared. So you're like, stay there in a reality that you're not that excited, you're not turned on, you're not like in passion, in bliss, because you're scared, or you are in codependency, or you're still getting something out of it, or you believe that it's giving you a false sense of power, or it's still validating you, or you're like, there's always some lack story belief that's keeping you there. But if you just go from no to fuck yes, it's either a fuck yes or it's a no, then you're always in the highest vibration. You're always in the most epic frame of the scene. And then you can flow through life in the path of least resistance and activate your highest timeline. Yeah. Yeah. So anybody here that's not turned on, leave. Just stay here if I'm turning you on into God. I want to turn you on into God. Yes. I love that. That's the disclaimer. When we do the satsangs in person, I'm gonna be like, huge sport. If you're not turned on, feel free to leave. Yeah, it's more about how to turn off again. We're on fire. When we do this in person, that's what's gonna be the disclaimer. If you're not turned on, you have to leave the room. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's what it is. It's oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck yes. You're attractive, knowledgeable, and experienced, Neville, so call it the promise. Thank you. But somebody can be attractive, like in their face and body, and can have the most fucked up mind. Not fuck, yes, fucked up. Like the most conditioned. And I have full praise to that too. Being attracted to somebody that was like amazingly hot outside, but inside had a lot of conditioning, a lot of entity attachment, a lot of things to work on. So have discernment. Not because somebody looks pretty in the outside means that they are in a frequency that can benefit you. It always has to be it needs to nourish you. If it doesn't charge you up, your battery, then it's not good for you. Trust me, I know. So it's not about the vessel that helps, it's about the frequency. Are you running away in that emoji? Like, I'm leaving from that relationship. I'm not for here for this. So, I mean, it's of service. You know, David Hawkins talks about, oh my God, I'm in love with David Hawkins. That's my favorite teacher. If I could choose, you know, that question, like, if you can choose to have dinner with any being in the world, I would choose David Hawkins. And you can bring them out of death. I would choose David Hawkins to be back on Earth. Oh, he's always with me. I feel his field. Thank you, master teacher. Thank you for blessing me. Thank you. Anyways, so Hawkins says that people that are pretty, their beauty, that's their service to the world. So that's why there are a lot of models. You know, sometimes maybe they have a lot of trauma, or they haven't healed, or they're not supposed to be